I swear I'm the worst at setting up this camera. I'm either like all up in your grill or I feel like I'm back too far. I'll figure it out, you know. Hopefully by video 50, I'll figure it out. I have had a lot of ups and downs this week. And not with the crocheting, well, kind of, but not because of the crocheting. I've just been having it really rough the past several days with my autism and just being, I'm just running a bit rich. I'm wiping the slate clean and backing up, and I'm going to refocus. So first off, I've been working on that striped blanket back there, and when I tell you, coming up with a project that I can work with, you know, every day just a little bit, you know, when I'm feeling kind of weird or, you know, I need something, I pick up that blanket and I'll do a stripe or two. And unfortunately, if you've been in my community tab, if you're subscribed, and if you're not subscribed, why not? Hit the you know what I'm trying to say. Hit it and join me. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff here. And I embarrass myself on the regular. You don't want to miss that, right? I've had a lot of struggles with that blanket. I think I ended up taking out the yellow row at least 2 or 3 times and the orange row at the same 2 or 3 times. I was just struggling. And I know part of it is because I need better lighting where I crochet, and I need to wear my eye patch. And I do have a new eye patch that came. I'll show you guys sometime when I feel comfortable to show you. But it's really cool because it actually like sticks on the inside of my glasses with a suction cup. And it sticks on there, and so I just have a little piece over my eye. Because quite honestly, with the eye patch, I don't like that string thing. It's on my ear, and it's tied on my head, and it slides around, and it doesn't stay put. And it actually makes me irate when I wear it, and it doesn't work properly. So I got this new one with the suction cup on it, and it's not perfect. But it works, and it helps me to not have so many, you know, drop stitches or, you know, double stitches. So with all of that said, I am actually starting to put the first 2 rows together of my granny square blanket so I can block it, and I'm going to be blocking them with steam because I forgot I bought this steamer back in January before I even knew I was going to crochet. I actually bought it, you know, to steam clean and deep clean my house, which I'll never do, but I bought it because, you know, I was hopeful. And so now I've got this steamer and I'm like, well, this is cool. I can go ahead and block my granny squares. And so if you remember what I said, I had all of the rows of the granny blanket. So I picked up the first 2 rows from the bottom up, and I'm gonna block them, and then I'm going to attach those 2 rows. Then I'm gonna do the next 2 rows, and then the next 2 rows. Then when I get the rows all done, then I'll attach those rows to the other row. You know what I mean? So I'll have 2, and then I'll do 2, and then I'll attach those 2. I think it's brilliant, and I'm hoping it'll make me feel like I'm making, you know, progress. I'm sorry, guys. I can't think. I am so hot, and I literally hate sweating. I get angry, and I'm about to get angry, so I'm going to need you to wait for a moment. I need to recover. Okay, I'm back. You guys are going to hear the fan. I'm hot, and we just can't, you know, have that. So anyway, getting back to to this. So I got this steamer, and when my husband was in the hospital back in January, his daughter was here visiting, and she suggested that I get a steamer, you know, and everything like that, because I told her, I said, man, I said, I really need to try to, you know, get the house cleaned up, you know, before your dad gets home. That never happened. Well, it kind of did, but, you know, it kind of didn't. I didn't use that, you know, the steamer. And so I was like, well, you know, that's a good idea, because I might use it someday. And I'm really hopeful that it might be, you know, this year. And so this is what I've done. This is what it looks like. So I have them all stacked, and I have a little bit of space between each one of them. And then once I figure out how to use the steamer, I'm just gonna, you know, steam them and everything like that. And then I'm gonna let them dry like overnight. And then I'm gonna start planning out how I'm gonna do the slip stitch. And I'm actually going to start putting together the first couple, you know, the first 2 rows of the granny square blanket. And you guys, I'm so excited. When I first started learning how to crochet, I was like, man, you know, I'm gonna learn how to do granny squares. Case in point though, if you're like ADHD, like pure ADHD, I would not suggest starting with granny squares, because once you learn how to do them, you'll be bored and you'll never finish them. I did 117 of them. You know how? I did 117 because I have autism, and she loves routine, the same thing, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we love learning things, but it takes us forever to learn things. ADHD, Dee, she can pick up stuff like that. But autism, Autism Lizzie, we're on the slower side. We're more nuanced. We're more, explain it to me and let me see how that works. And, well, why do you do it that way? And, well, you know, wouldn't it be better to do it this way? Where ADHD is just like, pew, you know, she just dives in and just does, you know, whatever. And we love her for that. And so I'm in the process now of putting together this second one and sliding them on. And so when I get done with that, I'll probably come back. I'm going to start doing my little videos and little tiny bits and bites, because I always have so much to talk about. And so I'm going to be working on these today, I think, because I really, really, really can't wait to get started, because I don't have a project right now. And it's really bumming me out, and it's completely drained my dopamine. And so my dopamine is like, well, let's buy more yarn. And I'm like, oh, no, we're not. Let's make something. Let's make that granny square blanket. So that's what I'm working on right now. That's what I'm working on today. And I also have a plan for the yarn closet. Unfortunately, autism took over with that too, you know, because we had to have a plan. So we have a plan, and we drew it all out, and we have planned what's going in each one of the cubbies. And then you guys can watch me put all of that together. But yeah, Dee just wanted to just like throw everything in there. Let's just get it done. Just make it, get it all in there. And I actually agreed with Autistic Lizzie this time. I'm like, no, let's sit down and plan it. So we drew it out and drew the cubbies and planned where we wanted to put each one of the yarns and why. Because, you know, that's how it works. I know. But I think everything is coming along quite nicely. And so this is, if I didn't show you, I'm going to show you again, because, you know, I never remember what I've done because I move so fast. But this is the first one. This is number 1. See, that's number 1. I am now working on number 2. And here's the rest of these. And I remember to have them upside down and put them on that way, you know, because I have to put them on the block in a certain order and take them off in a certain order. That's gonna be tricky. But I think it's gonna work. And why am I so dry? Where's my water? I think that's gonna be it for this little tiny piece of information, whatever we're calling it. And then I'm gonna finish unpacking this box of all of this new steaming equipment. I have absolutely no idea what to do with it. And I'm gonna actually have my husband tell me how to work it, because he likes to read instructions and I don't. Unless there's pictures. Hello, IKEA. And so there's all these little pieces and parts in here, and little Oh, little brushes. Because you can use this steamer. I want to steam clean my refrigerator and around the rubber seals. And I want to steam clean my shower in our big bedroom because it's a hot mess in there. And it really needs to be steam cleaned. And so there's all different kinds of little attachments in here and everything. And a little cup to... That brings back flashbacks, doesn't it? And then there's microfiber towel. This one doesn't feel too bad. I don't like microfiber towels at all. They snag and they stick. No. But this feels pretty good. And then more stuff. I don't know what that is. I don't care. And more stuff and more stuff. And the most important part, I will not be reading this. Alrighty then. I guess that's it for now. I'll see you in a few minutes. Well, it's going to be several hours for me, but for you, it's going to be a few moments. Ta-ta! Well, I'm back again because the whole last little set I did, I had to delete because I forgot to turn on my new microphone, you guys. I have a new microphone. Can you guys hear me okay? I sure hope so because, I'm moving on up. So anyway, what I was saying in that video that I had to delete is I finally got them all restaged and reblocked, and I also wasn't stretching them enough. And so me and my brain, I was stretching them at 5 by 5.5 inches. So that's not going to work. And so now I have to stretch them at 5.5 inches square, everything. So that's what I did. And this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. And I remarked them. This one says 1T for top of the row. And so, and then this one says 1B, you guessed it, for the bottom of the row. And so I don't have enough pins to do more than one row at a time. So I'm going to do one row a day. And then after tomorrow, after I have 2 rows, then I'm going to start attaching those rows together and everything like that. So I'll have one day where I'm blocking and one day where I'm sewing it all together. So that's how it's working out in my brain right now. But we are definitely not going to trust that. My brain's been naughty all week long. So, I mean, Dee Dee and Lizzie are mad too. So it's not just me. If I can get some shots of me using this, I will. But please don't count on it. See you in a moment. It's working, you guys. Take 3. First time, I forgot to hook up my microphone. Second time, I forgot to turn on the microphone. Third time, I went and had a quick bite to eat, had a bunch of food around my mouth. So here I am. Hopefully I don't have any food in my teeth. That just goes to show what my brain has been like this week. Like I told you guys, I've been really struggling this week. And the steamer almost just set me free. I was just screaming at my husband. I'm like, will you please come in here and read these instructions? I couldn't get the hose on, the actual long hose piece. I tried like 4 different times. It kept falling off and I couldn't get the hose on. And I tried to read the instructions first. And I can't do it. And it's embarrassing. I cannot read instructions. If I can't read something and put a movie to it in my head, like the blockbuster of the week or something, if I can't put a movie in my head to what I'm reading, it makes no sense. Just take all the words, throw them up in the air, and let them fall down in any random order. That's literally what my brain sees when I read directions or textbooks or periodicals, things like that. I can't do it. And I'm really beating myself up over it. And I just really need some comfort right now. And so I'm going to end this video right here where it is. And I'm actually going to come back for one more section before I close out the video for the week. because I'm going to come back and talk about the striped blanket that I've been working on, because this is fast becoming my security blanket. Because when I'm having days like I've had for the past week, I come back to this blanket and just do my easy single crochet, double crochet in the same stitch, skip a stitch, do it again all the way through. And it just brings me so much comfort. So I want to talk about this blanket, and I want to talk about the possibility that blah, blah, and I want to talk about the possibility of changing the order of some of the colors. I know. Woo! That's going to be tricky. And so, yeah, so I'll be coming back and finishing out the video on that. So until then, this is the end of this one. So, deuces. Okay, so we're back at this last little piece of the episode. And quite honestly, why do I always share my ridiculousness with you? Because if you're neurodivergent or think you might be, I don't want you to think you're out there alone. So I told you guys earlier in this video that I'm working with a new microphone. Cool, cool. I think I like it. I don't know yet. And so I need to hook the microphone to my phone. I couldn't find my phone anywhere, and I record with my phone. Half an hour went by, and do you know where it was? Right here. It's sitting on a different tripod, so I didn't recognize my own phone. Ugh, life's tricky. So I finally finished up row one of the granny squares that I watermelon iced tea. It's interesting, and I don't know if it's interesting in a good way or a bad way. Vote still out. I got the first row of the granny blanket all blocked. Where is it? Hang on. Okay, so here they are. And so I got the bottom and the top of the first row done. And so they're all ready to go. I'm a little disappointed in myself because I put them on the stretcher without knowing what I was doing, because I didn't do my research first. And after I did my research and figured out that you have to have a little bit of stretch I was just putting them on there, I was like, oh, that looks good. But no, you have to stretch it. Well, first off, I stretched them oblong. I stretched them 5 by 5.5. It wasn't square because I didn't measure. Because I knew I was right, even though I can't see out of one eye and I'm blind in the other. I thought I knew. I thought it was right. It wasn't. So now I have to stretch all of my squares to 5.5 square, and it'll be okay. It'll be all right. But I wasn't expecting that. And so this first row is done, and then my second row, here's one of them, is right here, and I steamed them this morning, and so I'm going to let them dry for the rest of the day and into tomorrow. And then as soon as I get more bitty stripe, because I've been using the bitty stripe in my big ass striped blanket, and so now I need to buy more bitty stripe to you know put the granny square blanket together and to trim it out. So there's that. But anyway, I feel really confident and feel really good about what I've accomplished so far this week. I've got my plans in place for the granny square blanket, and so I'm really excited about that. I know what I'm going to do and what I'm going to use for my yarn for attaching it all together and everything, and so that's good. Um, it already has a new home, and so that's even better. My son, he called dibs on it, so he's getting it. I'm working on my striped blanket, and besides that, I'm kind of bummed out because I don't have any projects that I'm working on right now. And I really need something. So I'm thinking about trying to do something with either one of my Premier Basics that, oh, it's buried. I want to do something with one of my new variegated yarns and everything like that. So I don't know what I'm going to make, but I need a project. And so the granny square blanket, definitely, yes, working on that every day. I'm a little disappointed that I'm not done with the poncho yet, but I'm waiting for a blocking mat for that. I ordered blocking mats so I could stretch it out because it's pretty misshapen and I just want to square it up. So I'm a little disappointed that it's not done yet, but it's close. And so my granny square is in a work in progress. It's a whip. My striped blanket is a whip, and I will have my poncho shawl cardigan thing is my third whip. So I only have three, and I'm thinking about starting maybe one or two more. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see the blanket. I'm going to insert a clip of me holding up the blanket. It is a big blanket. I didn't realize how large it was. I showed my husband last night, and he was like, "Toots, that blanket is going to be enormous." And it is. I didn't realize it was so wide. But then again, I realized the one thing about this blanket, it has become my security blanket. So I honestly don't care how big it gets. I mean, if I can wrap, my whole body in it, 3 or 4 times, and I'm fine with that. And so this has been going pretty well. I'm still dropping stitches and everything like that, but I'm kind of glad about that though. One thing that this striped blanket has been doing for me, it has been teaching me to think through inconsistencies that I have. If I'm seeing something is off and I'm like, okay, I dropped a stitch somewhere and it might be like 2, 3, 4 rows down and I just can't get back on track with where I'm supposed to be. I'm figuring out how to fudge it and how to do workarounds and everything like that. So I'm coming up with my own workarounds on things, and it's not 100%, but at least it's getting me through, and it's making me think, and it's making me use my brain in a systematic way to try to figure out stitch counts, stitch length, type of stitch, and what stitch would be best to plug in somewhere or to take out to make things balanced on the end. So we're quite proud of that. And other than that, I'm going to keep it short because I'm going to get ready to start my next vlog. This is my first vlog, you guys. Let me know what you think. I kind of liked filming a little bit every day or as I'm doing projects and everything like that. It didn't feel so stressful for me. But I also want you guys to enjoy it too. So let me know what you think about this different way of doing my video. And so I'm going to close this one out because I'm excited to start the next one, which I know. But let's see. Anything else I want to talk about besides my blanket? I love it. And you guys, if you're not working on a big, huge, large, easy, simple project, even just from the mental aspects of it for me, it's been comforting. And so that is why I am now calling this my security blanket. It is, yes, it is striped, but this is my security blanket. I see what it does for me now. And I love it and I appreciate it. And it's got all of there's so much yarn in this that I will absolutely be wrapped in yarn for decades. And I love it. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say for today. And I hope you guys liked this new style. And I hope that you are neurodivergent, or are you autistic or ADHD or think you might be. And apparently you do love yarn because you're here. And if you're back, you like my content and you like yarn, and that's double good. And so you're in the right place. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I've got some really fun things coming up for this channel, and you're not going to want to miss it because we don't want to miss it. Until next time, I'll see you in my next video.